Thank you for watching News Echoes on Nigerian Affairs. What we do is we give you information and analysis, and you will have an informed opinion so that you can make the right decision. I'm glad that you have joined us. My name is Shegun Johnson, and I have with me in the studio our sister from Nigeria, Bidi Nana. Bidi, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, Dr. Shegu. Good morning, viewers all around the world. Good to have us
Uh,
here today. Let's do it again, like always.
yes. And in Toronto, Canada, Sir George. Sir George, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, Dr. Johnson, and good morning, BD Nana. And viewers
In
around the world, we welcome you.
Thank you, sir. And from Milan, we have Massive Mark. Mark, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, Dr. Shagun. Good morning, BD. Good morning, George. It's good to see you guys again. And
Yes.
your faces are all shining. I know you're looking forward to Saturday. I know.
Well, it's shining because we are ready to discuss very important issues for Nigeria and about Nigeria. There's barely 48 hours to a crucial presidential election, and everybody has been praying for Nigeria. And I'm saying this from the position of canon. Many people are praying for Nigeria. They just want Nigeria to get it right. And one of those people has been the British High Commissioner in Nigeria. She has given the advice I think she's been given for a while, but now articulated. Many of the European countries have been advising us on this. And I'm going to ask Mark in Milan. There are three major pieces of advice she gave. What are these three pieces of advice, Mark?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Shagun. So, the UK envoy to Nigeria, that's the British High Commissioner. She's called, let me put her picture up there. Okay. That's Catriona Laing. I think she's Scottish or something. So she said she was in a program yesterday, and she listed some issues that could put Nigeria in a more progressive level. She said the next president should focus on these three things. Number one is that we have the lowest tax ratio in the modern world, and without raising that revenue, people can invest in public service. So she said number one is to remove the fuel subsidy, which is draining a lot of poor people and making some people richer. She said that fuel subsidy should be removed. Then she also talked about tackling the multiple exchange rates. She said that doesn't give businesses the power to invest in our country, foreign businesses. That our exchange rate is multiple. It's made so many angles to it. It doesn't.
Thank you, Mark.
Yes.
You've said it all. The major 3 points. Let me just reiterate: to hike taxes, to remove fuel subsidy, and to remove multiple exchange rates. These three things the British government believes will help Nigeria. Sir George, quickly, she did not mention anything about corruption. If you hike taxes, remove fuel subsidy, and do the third one, she has refused to come to the part of the expenditure. She mentioned of the income. We can get more money from taxes, more money if we remove subsidy, more money from exchange rate. But how about the expenditure side of things? She did not mention anything because she may be stepping on some toes, Sir George.
I don't think that's the reason why she did not mention that. It's not that she's ignorant of those things, but I believe also that the High Commissioner is expecting that the individual who will take over from the government at this time, or who will be the next president, will have that ability to curb corruption in Nigeria. Because number one is, yes, indeed, I don't think we have the best tax tax structure in Nigeria. I mean, I believe it's only in certain areas. If you go somewhere like Lagos, taxing is very, I believe is a little higher than any other place. Most other places there are minimal or no taxes of any kind, and whether they have that structure to be able to tax every aspect of business or certain businesses above certain income level, I do not know whether how effective is in Nigeria. That's number one. Number two is to the multiple exchange rates is going to affect the Fulani people, which the next government, if they do that, could become an issue with them, because these exchange rates are being, that's where they're actually killing Nigerians when it comes, and that's where the central government also is involved. Because look at what we're talking about right now. If you go to most of these malams, I can guarantee you that if you want the new Naira, they have it. So these are the things that I think she's, talking from a limited knowledge in many things that are happening in our country, but she's pointing out the most prioritized areas that will increase the revenues that we have to help us with this infrastructure. Yes, indeed, she did not mention the corruption that is in Nigeria. Most Nigerians will not want to, be paying taxes, and they believe that they're not seeing the physical evidence of it,
Development, yeah.
in the light, in the roads, and everything else. Most of them will not like that, especially when they believe that if they're paying taxes, that is enriching the people in the government, and they're taking that money outside of the country. That's part of the reason why many Nigerians are not even, they're frowning over you talking about taxing them. But if they pay your taxes, Nigerians will be willing. If they're paying taxes and they see their roads are being built, the bridges are being built, the infrastructures are coming up, there are so many other things that can be, they can see their money going into, they will be more than happy to do that. Because I can tell you one thing, you see Nigeria today is a place where it's so chaotic that everybody's doing their own thing. But Nigeria loves leadership. When they see an active leadership, they go for it. And with all smiles on their faces. These are our people. They love it. Look at you during the time of Keyamo. When there was, what do you call it again? In law against indiscipline.
Yeah, war against indiscipline.
War against indiscipline. Nigerians were, the man came out, he announced it. I came back to Nigeria and people were cleaning on Saturdays. Can you imagine? Everybody closed down their businesses. Everybody was cleaning the streets. And I'm like, what is going on here? You go to banks, everybody's standing in queues. Nigerians are obedient people. They just need a good leader who would show them the way and be an exemplary leader also.
One more thing, the fuel subsidy, you did not mention it.
Yeah, the fuel subsidy is something that we really need to keep. It's been so long. These are loopholes that these people are taking, just to siphon our money. We need to get rid of all these things, put a plain equal, level ground for everybody. We just really need to do that. I believe when those things are done, and the next president, by God's grace, he'll be a man who is a capable leader that can, bring all these laws into
perspective.
Yes, and then let's move on to the next and bigger things.
Thank you very much, George from Canada. BD, they said you are not paying enough tax. They say that you'll be paying more for petrol from your house to your work. And they also say that there'll be one exchange rate. You live on the ground there. What do you say?
Yeah, that was what the British High Commissioner said. And I'm surprised that she didn't even mention the major problem Nigerians are having. The insecurity in the land, the youth's unrestlessness. Do you understand? Yes. And all his attention is on the interest rates, subsidy, and others. But the major
let
problem
me
we
just
have,
pause. Let me just pause there. You've made a very powerful statement there that all she was interested was how foreign investors will come in. She said all of these things will aid foreign investment. So it's about the interests of the foreigners more than the
exactly,
interests of the citizens.
exactly, Exactly. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. They don't even care if Nigerians are burning or they are dying. But as far as they are making their gain, as far as their aim is being achieved in Africa, in Nigeria, they are okay with it. So I don't paying tax. Nigerians pay tax. When people want to talk about Nigerians not paying tax, do you know we have what we call multiple taxation in Nigeria? Yes, like Sir Joyce said, Nigerians don't mind paying tax if they see what their money is used for. An average Nigerian will avoid to pay tax because their tax is being used for personal use. Their tax is being used for our big politicians to buy house abroad, buy house for their girlfriends, the women buy house for their boyfriend, send their children abroad. They don't care for the well-being of an ordinary Nigerian. So paying tax is not a problem for Nigerians. If average Nigerians are sure that these governments are using this taxpayers' money to do what they are supposed to do, to benefit the life of average Nigerians, paying tax is not a problem. But we should have in mind that Nigerians pay tax, and the problem we have in Nigeria in paying tax is not just paying tax, but we have what we call taxation, and it has been a very big problem in Nigeria, and it's still. So, when it comes to High Commissioner, I think we should beg them to not get much involved in Nigerian politics because over the years they've had very much influence in who becomes our president. I think this time around they should actually give us a chance. Let's make our decision. Let's decide
Yeah,
on who we
yeah,
want.
and on the removal of the fuel subsidy, what will you say? Yeah,
Yeah,
185 naira per liter is too small.
it's say that how much is too small.
185 naira per liter.
That is, how can it be small for a country that owns the
The oil.
resources, the natural resources? Why it's small is because we don't refine it.
In her
Let me
own
tell you
country,
why.
BD, in her own country, the United Kingdom, is about 2,000 naira per liter. What do you say?
It's about 2,000 naira per liter. Look, let me tell you, see, you know why you will say it's not too small. You know why? Even if they are going to sell it 200 naira for Nigerians, they don't mind buying if it's available. Now, you know why it is that much? You know why Nigerians will think is expensive? Because we have these resources. But it becomes a problem because we can't refine it, we can't
Mm.
process it. We get it, we sell it to people, and they refine it, they bring it to us. And as much is going through all these processes, the prices is increasing. Do you
Okay,
understand? So
let
if
me tell you where
we
she's coming
now,
from. She's coming from the British background where a liter, the price, the government makes a lot of money, almost 60% per liter. That is what the British government takes revenue from. So she's coming from that background. In Nigeria, in the Nigerian case, the government subsidizes almost 70%. So she's trying to say if the British society could be paying and giving taxes through their buying of petrol, then Nigerians should do so. What do you say?
no, it's very very unfair for you to compare British government with Nigerian government. Yeah, I know the British government is making almost 60% out of this. Now,
Mm,
when you come to Nigerians, have you compared what the British government are doing for their citizens and what Nigerian government are not doing for their citizens? If everything is in place, if things are working, if the system are working, if I don't have to go some certain stress I have to go to get the necessary things I need to live a life as a normal human being, do you understand? I will make the money effortlessly, and I'll be able to pay whatever you want me to pay. But in Nigeria here, it's not easy. The system is not there. I tell you what people go through to make a living in Nigeria. It's, you can't compare it to what people go through to make a living in British. So comparing the two countries, it's not fair. I don't take
all right.
that.
Thank you, BD. Mark in Milan. The linear equation of the British High Commissioner in Nigeria is not only that is not balanced, but there are two linear equations as I can see. She brought out these three issues, and on the other side of our equation to balance it was foreign investment, foreign investment, foreign investment. But the Nigerian will not go on that equation line. What they will say is that, yes, we have listened to you, remove fuel subsidy. We have listened to you, don't duplicate foreign exchange rate. There, yes, we have listened to you, hike all the taxes. But on the other hand, the Nigerians will say, remove corruption, remove insecurity. You can see that both her and Nigerians were operating on different equation line. Is there a way we can redress this balance, Mark?
Different equation line. Sorry. Yes, different equation line. George said this. BD also said it. It's well, like you also said, she's she's speaking with some interest, and she probably don't want to dabble into more sensitive issues that might spike up other things. So she made sure her statements were strictly on finances and the economy, and not those social.
Yeah, that's the problem with foreign intervention on the economic scale of a country. They are speaking from their own background, and that's why the IMF policies for Nigeria never worked. That's why the World Bank loans for us never worked. They look at it and operate issues for their own good, and we have not been able to benefit from all the loans they have given us. Judging Toronto, what do you say to this? We are not benefiting for such. Even though they are good, they look good, they don't benefit us.
Basically, will talk in line with what benefits them.
Yeah.
Because they are not looking on internal situations that you're going through. They're basically looking on the international affiliation with a country. When they are speaking, they will speak where their interest is. There are some things that are local to us, which a foreigner will feel very funny trying to tell us how to live our lives.
Yeah.
That's one thing we have to understand. When they speak from the angle where, their relationship with us is and how they feel it can benefit. They can have a common level of understanding and, all-round benefit between the two countries. So when she's talking, she rather not come and start telling you, you guys are corrupt or this or that. These are known issues that any government that comes in, know that they need to deal with. So it's almost like I'm not going to be stepping on the toes here, but let's talk about the international common interest. My country deals with your country. How am I going to be able to help you people, Nigeria, so that you guys can raise enough money, do as we have been doing, has been working for us. Let's remove fuel subsidy. Let's, remove multiple exchange rates, and let's remove this, because her mindset will be, how is Britain going to benefit with Nigeria when these things happen? So I don't think that she's going to come and start, go into your bedroom and your closet and start bringing all those things out.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let me use this opportunity to welcome Dr. Godwin Ibe from Moscow, Russia.
From Russia.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me. Good to see you.
Yeah, I know one thing that the whole world wants to hear from you and from the rest of the crew here is what's going on in Nigeria right now. And we want to take just a few. Yesterday, the whole world saw how Tinubu went into mega rally in Lagos. And many have said that this did not reduce the position of Obi in Lagos. But that is not the real issue now. The real issue is APC, because we've seen that APC is still fighting APC. And Keyamo, the campaign director of communication director of APC, said that Buhari, the president of Nigeria, was wrong with his policy on this Naira redesign and swap, and is against the Supreme Court position. And Fashola came out to say, Keyamo, you are wrong. President Buhari has not gone against the Supreme Court's decision. Rather, President Buhari has said, let me go ahead and alleviate the suffering of the people, extend the acceptance of 200 naira as a legal tender till 10th of April, and you can still take in 1,000 naira, 500 naira, and store it for people who have brought the money. Now, I don't know if you have been following this Fashola Keyamo debacle, but that's the crux of it. Buhari right, says Fashola. Buhari is wrong, says Keyamo. How do you see this?
I don't mean to sound religious, but they say where your treasure is, that's where your heart is. So it's the usual economists who say follow the money. Many of them are many of them are just speaking based on what is at stake, what is in it for them. Do they have an agreement with Tinubu, or do they have an agreement with Buhari? Does anybody have a legacy to leave, or maybe legacy is not their priority at this point in time? So basically, this is guiding a lot of their actions. It's clear we know Buhari's position. Basically, he wants to leave a legacy. It's not been a bed of roses. To put it at the mildest, it's not been a bed of roses. And the least he would want to do is to leave a legacy, at least the of a free and fair election. I believe so. I may be wrong, but I believe so. And for Tinubu, just like the other presidential candidate, one thing is on their mind: just winning. And then the others are basically based on their interest. Basically, I mean, despite the fact that our president, His Excellency, wants to leave a legacy, he also quite well understands that his best bet, as I believe, is the APC party in terms of leaving his legacy behind, following, continuing the policies, respecting old contracts, as we like to say, and as our international partners like to believe, that we respect old contracts. And you see, so these are basically basic fundamental facts that mean that despite Buhari is maybe it may seem to many people that he's dragging his feet, but that's just how far it goes. Dragging feet, he cannot be supporting another candidate outrightly, even if it's allowed constitutionally, even if
quickly, Dr. Ebe, can you answer this question? How can one senior advocate of Nigeria be saying that Buhari was wrong and the other one was saying Buhari was right? Senior advocate of Nigeria, both of them. I mean, and these people are supposed to be gurus.
It's okay for two senior advocates to have different opinions based on their interpretation of the law. What we're speaking about is what is the basis for their cover. Are they saying it because they're very patriotic Nigerians and they want the best for the nation? Or it has to do with political affiliation or interest, or where their treasures are, or promises, or in the next administration. So all these things have to be put out to the people on what's the basis. But if it's just having an opinion, they have the right to interpret the law the way based on their experience and education.
All right. Thank you so much, because we are going to spend the rest of the hour on what is going on in the Nigerian politics. Sir George, I've presented two senior advocates of Nigeria. If you ask me to interpret what both of them are saying, both of them are actually speaking to help their principal, Tinubu, to win. Keyamo said Buhari was wrong. Fashola says he was right. But what Fashola was trying to say is to douse the fire of Keyamo so that the average northerner will not think they are fighting their own principal, who is Buhari. And so Fashola comes out to say, no. Buhari is right. But actually, he's just saying, look, we don't want our principal to lose this election from Buhari's supporters. And Keyamo is saying, let's break it, even though he will have wanted Tinubu to win. What's this kind of political game they're playing, you think?
Well, you see, just like Dr. Ibe said, that everybody, they have the right, to interpret the law the way that they see fit. But the point is this. Dr. Ibe was mentioning that, Buhari would not like to be seen as going against his own principle or against, Tinubu publicly. But we have seen also that that is something that we know, that internally inside of him, he will prefer another candidate instead of instead of Tinubu to take over the government. For reasons best known to him, there are some things he's done that kind of spells that until the man started, crying out, and then he was basically induced and forced to come out openly and endorse Tinubu. This we know for sure.
Yeah.
Because look at the actions. But it will be politically wrong for him not to endorse the man, whether he likes him or likes him to be the one to take over the mantle or not. But you see, let me tell you another thing. He wants to leave a legacy internationally. And that legacy, he wants it to be the legacy that will be used to respect him around the world after his presidency in Nigeria, in spite of all the bad things that has happened. So now, with Keyamo and Fashola going at it, the point is a house divided against itself cannot stand. Each one have their own best interest, like Dr. Ibe said. They have their own political interest, and they are all clamoring for, position after, the election, should their principle win. So basically, that's what I see there.
Thank you, sir. Bidi, you are on the ground, and we'll be needing you for the next half hour to explain so many things to us. Before we go on break, Bidi, this election is predicated on the Naira swap, whether we like it or not. There is shortage of Naira right now. You only have 2 minutes to tell us how the shortage is. When we return, I'll come back to you, because this Naira swap is really, really affecting Nigeria. What's the situation on the ground? Can I go to the bank and withdraw 10,000 Naira and feed my children right now? Unmute yourself.
Certainly, it's from the studio. Let him do it.
Okay, all right, go on. We can hear you now.
I said, certainly, you will not walk into Nigerian bank today and withdraw 10,000 Naira. It's impossible. But you can walk into Nigerian bank and transfer 10,000. That's the only thing you can do. It's not easy to get 10,000 Naira cash in Nigerian banks.
But the market women will not take transfer from me, and understand it's difficult to transfer.
That is actually a problem. I tell you, the Butchers Association have stopped, killing rams or cows.
Cows.
Because they can't take transfer. So if you go to the market, for some people who bought a few days ago, if you're buying a meat of 5,000, you'll be sure to add like 500 or 800 on top for people who are taking transfer. So if you're buying meat of 5,000, you'll be buying it 5,008. That's 800 is
for transfer, check. Or if I'm using POS?
For transfer.
What will the 800 Naira be for? Because my bank will give you 5,000 Naira for the meat of 5,000 Naira. So what is the 800 for?
That's their charges. They tell you put it. They tell you.
So Bidi, we'll be coming back to you after the break. You are going to tell us more, and then we are going to analyze it more. We're going to short break. When we return, how your money can be reduced by 800 Naira in Nigeria of today, or in other words, how you buy your own 5,000 Naira with another extra 8,000 Naira, or whichever way you want to say it. But don't go away. We have so many things to talk about. Thank you for staying with us. It's still the news echoes on Nigerian affairs. And before we went on a short break, we asked Bidi to tell us what's going on in Nigeria. Bidi, you are in Lagos. Please tell us the sufferings that Nigerians are going through because of this Naira swap.
The suffering is so very high, like it's not reducing, and I don't know what is actually causing it, because I was expecting by now that it would have reduced, but it's not. And I think it's because, earlier we talked about this redesigning of Naira notes. We talked about the structure, that the Nigerians don't have the structure. But that's actually the major problem we are having. People can't make transfer easily. Even when you go to the market, you don't have cash to buy, you make transfer. I've seen where they see some people, they don't allow you to go because the transfer you made have not come, and they will not allow you to go. Normally, when you make transfer and you've not seen the alerts or the money, you collect the person gives you his or her contact and you allow the person to go. But in situation now, people don't even allow people to go because there is fake new Naira notes, even old Naira notes in circulation. A lot of people have been using the fake new Naira notes to buy things from people. And the thing is this, some state governors has sued federal government for not obeying the court order. Kaduna State, Kogi, and Zamfara. Even more states have joined them recently. States like Katsina and Lagos and some other states have joined them in the suit, trying to tell the president or presidency that they should listen to Supreme Court's order. Now, the question a lot of Nigerians are asking, why is it now that all the state governors are bent on
suing the federal government,
obeying the court order? Over the years, from the first year of the administration to now, there has been a lot of court order. They've not obeyed.
Example, the Nnamdi Kanu releasing Nnamdi Kanu. Another one, Zakaki.
Even
Zazaki, they've not, that's true.
They've not obeyed. So why is it this one they are bent on presidency obeying? So Nigerians are beginning to ask. Now, it comes to the times with what former senator of Kaduna State, Sani Shehu, said, that why APC governors are doing this is because they have intention of using the old Naira notes they've stashed away to buy votes to rig election. So it's not been easy for Nigerians. It's not been easy accessing cash, doing transfer. That's the major one, because if the transfer is going very well, this problem might not be as much as it is. So it's not been easy. And a few days to election, and there's this rumor we had that network will be down from tomorrow, Thursday, till after election. But the CBN has defaulted that, debunked that. They said it's rumor, that they said it's not true. But you know one thing about Nigeria, they say in every rumor there is atom of truth, but they've come out to say it's not true. And with what has been going on before the election, just 2 days or 3 days to the election, and they're telling you that you can't access your money, but they said it's not true, that it is a rumor, it's a fake news, according to Nigerian.
All right, thank you, Bidi. I just saw that our man has joined us, Dr. Osita Anyemeka, all the way from Abuja. Dr. Osita, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Dr. Johnson. I'm very honored to be here.
I was about to ask the Interpol to search for you all over the world.
I know.
But thank God you are here now.
I hear you guys have been looking for me.
Yes.
Welcome, Doctor.
I escaped. Hi, Dr. Ibe. You and I need to talk after this meeting. Briefly. Yes.
All right. Let's talk about Nigeria first. You are in Abuja. Okay. How crunchy is this Naira swap on the citizens in the capital?
It's nasty. I went to see my doctor before the program. I left by 8 in the morning. He couldn't come into his lounge until very late because of cash crunch.
Wow.
His Bolt driver refused transfer, doesn't have a POS, and he didn't have cash. Medical doctor. It's that bad.
Why would the bankers or the different banks, Why will they be responding the way they are responding? Is it a case of human malady, or is it a case of systemic malady? Or why will they transfer, like BD told us, you want to buy a piece of meat for 5,000, you have your money transferred, and they say they are not taking 5,000. What is their problem? They are not
No.
exchanging money. You are taking, I'm buying a good from you, and I'm giving you the equivalent amount. Why should I put 800 naira on top?
Okay, let me tell you how. They don't get cash from the same source.
Yes.
They will go to the filling stations, to the gas stations, and buy money from them because some drivers have cash to pay them. So when the filling station attendants finish, they make money out of the cash paid to them by individuals. So to get 10,000 naira, you will pay 12, 13, 15,000. So for him, it's a trade. The POS guy will now go out there and sell to make profit on what he has paid to purchase the money. That's
So
the
it's
deal.
a spiral issue.
Exactly. So it is human malady, hatching from systemic malady. Exactly.
Do you
That's
see
what
the
it
end
is.
of this after the election on March 11?
Yes, we see it because then sanity will come. People who were expecting to do anything possible to win an election would have failed. And then the country will come back to normal. We're just praying that that happens. Really.
Okay, Mark in Milan, you've listened to both BD and Dr. Sita. How will we resolve this issue of money vote buying, which the president is trying, we understand, is trying to do? So if you don't have money, you can't disburse money to your local government officials to spend. You can't disburse money to the state government officials to spend to aid your own election. So the government, the federal government, is trying to use its power to control the availability of fund, which has spiraled out of their hands now. The individual Nigerians and the banks taking it to another level that the federal government never envisaged. Do you think this will eventually affect the results in a way that the federal government might not even think of? People may just revolt. People may not be interested in voting. People may just, I mean, what are does the federal government, is it looking at it from different angles, or what do you say?
It's a tough one, Dr. Shagun. A good policy, but it wasn't well planned out, and now it's spiraling to really hit a lot of normal citizens that have nothing to do with this. Yes, we are observing from here, and we noticed that this will really affect the election on Saturday. But we hope it will affect for good, because, like BD said, normally politicians at this point in time, there's so much cash with them, to give to bribe their way through. But this is not happening this time. So we're looking at a positive outcome. It's also a situation of two elephant fighting, and the grass suffers. Now the Nigerian citizens are suffering from something that could also be a good idea, but they didn't really put the ordinary people into consideration. So as at yesterday, like BD said, more states are joining in the suit against the federal government. The Attorney General of the Federation and the Central Bank are being forwarded to the High Court for over this alleged failure to comply with the Supreme Court orders on the Naira notes. The states have also argued that the implementation of that policy is causing untold hardship on people.
Yeah, people have told the state governors to go and sit down. They've never opposed serious issues until now that is affecting the election of
Yes.
their principals.
Sorry, let me just add that somebody wrote and said it's a good program. He said, thank you for sharing great information and receiving regards from Kenya, Africa. That's a viewer from Kenya wrote that.
Oh, yeah. Kenya is a good country like Nigeria too when it comes to political discussion. We won't go into that right now, but we thank that viewer from Kenya. Dr. Sir George in Canada, this is a very serious issue. The political parties will need to pay their agents in 774 local governments, thousands and thousands of polling booths. They have 2 agents, they have to eat, they have to drink, they have to stay until it is counted and remitted. Now, how will these people be able to run those structural activities that are important to the election as well, though they are from the political parties? Is this not hampering the electoral process itself?
Well, I don't think it will. The money can be transferred to the accounts. You know,
We've been
I
told
don't.
the network is not going to work as from tomorrow, and I tend to accept that one, because even up till now they're not working.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that when you work, you don't have to get paid at that moment. So the money, usually you get your pay, after you finish your work. So if they are doing what they are doing, usually I don't think we're in the place where cash will be brought to the venue and then you get paid at that moment. No, you do your job and we make sure that your account will be well fatted up. After you finish your work.
Sir George, I wanted to ask Dr. Ibe, but let me ask you. I
Uh,
have worked for the party. I have spent something like 10,000 naira for the 2 elections coming up on the 25th February, March 11th, and our party has lost. Who am I going to hold on to pay me?
This is exactly when we were talking about the state governments that are suing the federal government. Who are you? Which government are you suing? Is it the one that is the old one or the new one? Who is going to be held responsible? That's exactly what the problem is. Actually, it's laughable, but these are serious issues, because what happens in the Nigerian system is after the election, everybody goes home, and whatever money that you have in your closet stays right there. When they come asking you for payment,
Bidi, you are itching to say something. What is it that you want to say? Bidi.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
From studio. This network issue, how serious it is in Nigeria. And like I said earlier, the not 6 people, you have to wait for them to confirm your transfer for you before you leave or before you go with whatever thing you buy. Dr. Osita confirmed it. Do you know we lost a pregnant woman in Kano, Shama Sane Rabiu, because the husband don't have new notes to pay, and he made a transfer, and the doctor refused to attend to that woman, waiting to confirm his transfer, and that woman died. That's the level it has
Thank
gotten.
you. Dr. Ibe, I know there are so many questions unanswered, and that's a very sad one. Dr. Ibe, we understand that the ADC has collapsed the structure for Labour Party, and that this is going to help the Labour Party, especially in the area of polling booth agents. What's your take on this one?
As far as I'm aware, it's just for the presidential candidates, isn't it? So, or is it for the whole, the whole party? I think it's just the presidential candidacy. Well, it's a very big plus. Yeah, it's a very big plus. It's a very big plus for Labour Party. They have the most polling agents now, and it works in their favor. Now, concerning the cash flow, of course, it affects the whole logistics. Like INEC National Commissioner, who was with us recently in Middle Russia talks, who said that it's affecting and it will affect, even though they are trying to keep to the deadlines. So I also imagine that, like Sayoj said, you just work and you be paid after. But while working, you have to drink soft drink, yeah. You have to maybe eat. You have to. There's some expense, I believe, that will go in during what we call cost of operation. Those may not be able to wait, and it means you have to be carrying new Naira notes around just in case networks fail. That means anywhere you find polling unit, you probably just have a bank there, because they're just lots of people with cash everywhere. It means you have security has to be to the level of banks. because it's a bright spot for robbery, organized theft. So it's a problem basically. It's not something that can be that can even be underestimated. Let me not say it's not swept under the rug. It's too extreme. It can't be underestimated. It's a problem, and how they will deal with it is not to be seen.
Okay, thanks so much, Dr. Osita. Atiku is being said to be the cabal's favorite. I feel like saying discourse. He appears that so many things are falling into pleasant places for him. Is Atiku going to be the next president, or what do you think?
No, he will not, because people are still remembering, people are still counting for him. The four major, let me say, okay, yeah, four major stalwarts who are against him his problem. IB Babangida, Babasanjo, T.Y. Danjuma, and Abu Salami. And they have their reasons. Yes, they are not, they were hiding it before now, but now they have created, they have opened the window to make people know that if he rigs the election, he will be caught, because they don't believe that Nigerians will vote for him. So no, he's not the next His Excellency. We're looking for someone else.
Okay. From your vantage position in Abuja, what do you see? Is Peter Obi well known in the north, in the core north? And we're not talking with our own personal desire here. We're talking of what is on the ground. What do you say?
Yeah, in the last 1 month, I stopped seeing Peter Obi from an emotional perspective. I was being intelligent about it, and I was being sincere and honest. And let me tell you what my sincere and honest opinion is. For all the states in the country, Peter Obi is bound to make incredible success. All the states. He might not get all of them the way with his, his supporters desire, but what we have seen now, even the Northern Elders Forum, they have said to everybody else, don't rig this election so that we really know what Nigeria is.
Okay.
If what people are saying about P2B is right, let it happen so that we know how Nigeria will form. Nobody is happy the way Nigeria is now. Let's see what happens.
Thank you. Mark in Milan, Tinubu made his mega rally yesterday. It was mega indeed. And he showed some outings in Yobe, Zamfara. You think Tinubu can be the next president?
Yes, anything could happen. We're in the time of surprises. Anything can happen. But I want to talk more on the ADC thing. Being a member of yes, ADC, African Democratic Congress, collapsed its structure for LP. And like Dr. Osi said, we're not being emotional about a lot of things now. We are gone beyond emotions. ADC sat down, looked into all the critical angles of LP and what they have to offer. And after several negotiations, we decided to collapse our structure and make LP endorse the presidential candidate, Peter Obi, for president, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, listen to this news. The good news is ADC is not a standalone party. ADC has some affiliates and some very strong ones from the north of Nigeria. You have the Fulani United, Nigerian Artisans, League of Imams, Nigerian Traders, Yoruba United, Mega Political Party Coalition, the Kanuri United, and some other coalitions. Now, all of these alliances merged into ADC, and we all bonded with LP. So we're being real now, and we're not joking. We're not being emotional. We are taking things the way it should be. Thank you.
Bidi, you are in Lagos. Mega rally happened yesterday for APC and Tinubu. Be honest with us and with our listeners and viewers. When the chips are down on February 25, who do you think will win Lagos between the three major contestants? That is Tinubu, Obi, or Atiku. I mean, from your assessment.
See, one analysis said that you cannot judge election by a rally crowd. Yes. In Nigeria, the rally is one source of making money for idle or for people who are hungry in Nigeria. Because the same people that go to APC rally are the same people who go to PDP rally. It's just now that we are changing the narrative where you have die-hard obedience, who they are obedient and they are not afraid to say it. Those are the people, they are the new generation of youths who, even if they are hungry, they will not come for your rally. But the old politics or old politician way in Nigeria is that the same PDP rally members is the same APC rally member. So you might not judge it by a rally. Now, you're asking me who will win. I wouldn't sound direct because naturally I'm that kind of person that likes sounding direct, but don't ask me to sound direct in this contest. I don't want to sound direct. Anybody that wins, let's see it. But what I'm just begging Nigerians is this: they should allow the free and fair election to hold for the peace of this country. They should allow people's vote or mandates count, because if they don't, what we might see after this election might not be good for our nation.
Okay, thanks. Judge in Toronto, these three contestants, we're being honest with Nigerians who are viewing us, and indeed our viewers, our regular viewers. These three contestants, what's your take on them? Who do you think will have an edge, or do you think there's going to be a tie come February 25th?
Session.
Unmute.
Let Dr. Ibe's assertion when it comes to choosing the candidate. This is our time to change the narratives, the conversation, and the way things has been going in Nigeria. Any intelligent, smart individual, even if you're uneducated, and you look at what is going on in Nigeria today, you know who you are supposed to trust to take this country to that promised land that Nigeria has been clamoring for, that African countries has been begging us to take that position that we are supposed to, hold in order for them to become relevant in the world affairs. Today, if you want to vote for somebody who got 6 wives and 130 something grandchildren, that is your take. If you want to vote for somebody who cannot even climb the stairs and cannot make a full statement in 5 minutes, that is your stake. It's your inheritance, it's your future. If you want to vote for somebody who is articulate, intelligent, and can represent your country and take us from this where we are to that promised land where there is milk and honey flowing in Nigeria, that is your take. It's up to you. Is it the old politicians that you want, or is it a new emerging, new Nigeria that we're looking for? I'm not going to call names. You know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. So if you want to sell your birthright for a piece of bread, agege bread, that's your problem.
Thank you, Sir George. I didn't know you'll be preaching to us, Dr. Ibe. Are you going to preach too? We just want to know who the next president is before the election. Is it possible you look into your crystal ball?
I want to acknowledge the professional rally goers. Some of them have experience that is dating from that is older than probably Tinubu, Malami, Tinubu, and if Nigeria was the place where all this experience count, they should have putting it in CV. But like as BD said, they are usually the same people, and but the reliable metric is PVC distribution and state affiliation. Like, what color is the state and what is the PVC distribution? This is a objective, realistic measurement, and the PVC distribution have not been. I don't know, Dr. Osita Anemika, please correct me, but it has not been so wonderful for from the Labour Party side. But maybe I may be wrong. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope that the PVC, everybody has the PVC.
Well, I can tell
And
you for sure that there are millions of PVCs that have not been collected. They've been seen all over the places, and there's some local governments have been wicked about it, not allowing some people whom they perceive as negative voters to receive their PVC. This I can tell you as a matter of fact. So it's a
yes,
very
I'm
sad
trying.
situation.
Yeah, so I say I'm trying to be cautious with my words.
No, I
Today is
know,
20.
so I can say it, yeah, from my
Today is
perspective.
22nd. Today is 22nd. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like you say things can change in 1 day, 2 days. We've seen the PVC distribution.
Yeah.
We've seen the color
I'm
of the
just
state.
conscious of the time.
So
I'm conscious. Thank you, Dr. Ebe. Not that I wanted to cut you short, but it's just the time. Dr. Osita, they said there's anxiety only in the South, anxiety about riots before, during, and after this election on the 25th of February. And they said there's no anxiety in the North. Is that correct? We can't
It's
hear you.
muted.
mute, please.
It's not true. There's anxiety everywhere. Specific anxiety in the north is the way the last 2 months happened. And almost everybody who is smart enough to say the right thing is talking about voting your conscience. They never talked about voting your conscience in the north before. It never happened
Wow.
before. It used to be, yes, it used to be a blanket thing. But now people are saying it and their leaders are concurring because they know that the recent issues between the presidency and one of the candidates, it's going to take its toll. And when it's taking its toll, only two candidates are there. And of the two candidates, like George said, is vote your conscience. So when vote your conscience has become the issue now, the
Bidi,
anxiety is everywhere.
you are the only woman. I'm giving you the last statement for 20 seconds. What will you be telling Nigerians to do on the 25th of February? Not to vote, but to be peaceful. Is that what you want to say?
Yeah, Nigerians should go out and cast their votes. Let's monitor our votes and see if it will count this time around. Like you
Cast your
said, let
vote in a peaceful
wait.
situation, says the
Let me
lady
tell
amongst
you,
us.
Dr.
That's how
Shegun.
far
See,
we
let
can
me
go today. We
Dr.
cannot, we have to go. I'm so sorry, it's the time, not me. And we'll be back on Friday and on Saturday. Did you hear that? Friday and Saturday, we'll be really back monitoring. God bless you all.